Alright guys, so as you can see the van is an absolute mess right now, but most of the wall paneling is in, which looks super good except for this little tiny thing. That was the first screw that we put in, so I just went a little deep and it cracked. And it's really annoying right now, but right now with the van I'm in the mode of just get everything up on the walls, and then all the fine tuning, the little small stuff like that we can fix right at the end. But just to give you a little update on what's been going on. So I've been doing a bit of electrical work this morning, just threading these outlets and like light switches and stuff. The cords have been there all along, but I just had to put them through this panel. Also, I built this box around this wheel well. This is where all the electrical is going to be going, just in order to mount everything to it. And right now what I'm doing over there is just cutting a sheet of plywood, basically like that equivalent sheet of plywood. My mom is tiling, but basically that equivalent piece of plywood just for this side to cover all this insulation. I'm gonna leave a lot of this open though, just so I can get in and do electrical work and thread cords and everything. But yeah, this section should be done pretty soon, and then I can actually start on the electrical. So now I just have to cut the wheel well out of it. Luckily, I have the template from the last wheel well. This guy here, so I'm just gonna trace it. Alright, so when I put the wheel well thing up against the wall, I realized it just like had this weird gap in it. So I've had to make this like super weird piece that's just gonna slide in. So I basically had to put the back panel on the wheel well itself. And take all of these off, put this on, and now screw it from the back. But now I should just be able to push this whole piece, boom, in the back, and it should be good to go. So I want to mount these cabinets right now. Thing is, I still have to run cables from my car battery back to the camper van battery. So I needed to leave a bit of a passageway through the back. So what we did was we just drilled holes in the back of this toe kick and put a PVC pipe in. So the cables should just thread straight from the front to the back. I do have to put the water pipes for the sink through here too, but I'm just gonna drill another hole when that happens. So that'll go back there. And we are mounting the cabinets tonight, which is super exciting for me. But yeah, basically what I need to do is I need to run a strip of 1/2-inch plywood along this furring strip, and then we're gonna just nail the cabinets to that. I think we're at about week 6 of the conversion, which is crazy. It feels like it's gone by super quickly. But today I am installing the bed frame. We really want to go camping this Wednesday. It's Monday today. We want to go camping up with my family, and we don't want to have the van finished obviously, but we want a platform to put the bed on just so we could sleep. So in the next day or two, the goal is to get the back platform bed all in and everything. So here's basically what we're doing. Over here we have 2x6s. There's 2 of them. And basically gonna mount them one here, and then do 2x4s across. You'll see a little bit later in the videos, but yeah, that's what I'm working on today. So the 2 main supports for the bed are in. They're just 2x6s. And what I just did was cut the boards that are going right here just with 2x4s. So 1 there, 1 here, and then probably gonna put 2 in between that. I don't have those boards yet, but that should give it enough structural support to be good to go. And then right now what I'm doing is I am just installing supports down and up. So this is pretty solid, but just to kind of firm it up and make sure it's not gonna go anywhere, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of 2x4 and maybe just cut it down to like 2 inches wide and just put it there for some extra support. Alright, so moving on from the bed frame, I just cut a little notch where the slide out table is going to be. Moving on, I'm going to thread my wiring for my 120 volt outlet down through this hole and then out to where the inverter is going to be. But hooking this up to the outlet is actually super simple. Basically, what you have here is wire that I just bought from Ace Hardware, and it's just like, it has this end, but this end is cut off, 3 different colors. Green goes to this part of the wire, white goes to the silver screw, and black goes to the bronze screw. And this just goes in the wall, and it's totally hooked up to 120 volt power. So that's what I'm doing now, just like threading this thing through that little port. So cable is through. Now I'm just mounting this box here, which basically just protects the outlet from getting any like insulation on it or anything. Just got this at Ace Hardware too. I'm just screwing this to the outside, and then I have to punch out one of these little ends to thread the cable through. Alright, so I've moved on to the dimmer wiring, and basically it looks kind of complicated but super simple. Also, I literally learned all of this just in this band build. I have no electrical experience at all before this, but yeah, so basically this is the input wire, so this will be running down to the 12 volt fuse panel, and then these are the 2 wires going up to the lights. This section here is going up to these lights. This section here is going up to these lights. So you end up with a dual dimmer that you can just pick which section you want to be lit. Honestly, I have no idea if the lights are actually gonna work. I haven't been able to test them yet, so crossing my fingers for that. But yeah, the wiring is somewhat simple. I'm just gonna wire up this last USB outlet, which is pretty simple, and then this panel is pretty close to being done. I'm gonna add in a couple different things. I'm gonna add this inverter switch, basically just turns it on and off my inverter right there, and then also I have a battery monitor that I'm mounting there too. Pretty simple stuff. It is really intimidating before you do it though. Alright, so all the wiring that I can do today is in. I'm gonna just hop up there. You can see the panel. So I made it right here, just so from bed we can turn the lights on and off, charge our phones, charge drone batteries and GoPro batteries and stuff. And then here we'll be able to do like Vitamixes and coffee makers and all that stuff. But now what I'm switching to is making a box for right here. So in the front here, I want a cabinet that goes back into the garage area, and I also need something for the tracks to rest on for the slide out table, so that's what I'm building. There's so many boxes that you have to build when you're doing a van or any construction project. On to the next box. Alright, so here's what we got going on. So this little cubby here, it's probably where the toilet's gonna be, if we get a toilet. But we put that in, put some supports right there. This hole is where the slide out table is gonna be. So we're just building the bed, getting it all ready for when we go camping. Alright, Nicole. What has happened here?
I don't know how. I got paint on the floor. I got most of it up, but now I'm getting a little gross.
Alright, so as Nicole's painting, I'm over here installing this little push button latch for the fridge. Because it's facing the way you're driving, when you slam on the brakes, it's really gonna have a bunch of force pushing that way. So I just got this little lock. It's literally just on Amazon. And basically, what it is this little button that locks it, unlocks it. So I'm just gonna install that into the face. And it's super simple. All you need to do really is just drill a hole, put that in, put this on the back side, and it locks that in. Alright, so all the painting is done. Now we are installing these panels. and then we're gonna build the rest of the bed platform. All right guys, so tomorrow's the day we take off for the first sort of camping trip. So I'm just fitting the bed in right now. I'm cutting some corners to have it kind of like stick out the back and just making little finishing adjustments to get everything done. But tomorrow is when we leave, so spending the rest of the day just working on things.
Gary!
And we're bringing Gary. Nicole's looking for a backpack for Gary.
We're gonna make one first.
Yeah, we're gonna make a backpack to bring Gary, so should be pretty interesting. The parents are off and we're meeting them up there tomorrow. See ya! So I'm gonna try to get the 12-volt system hooked up. These are some big ass batteries and I've never done any electrical stuff before this, but I'm gonna see if I can at least get these hooked up. And this is the panel where I'm trying to hook them up. Alright, so this is what I've been working on. I cut out a little slot for the batteries to go right here. And like I said, I'm not trying to set this up how it's gonna be in the future, but I just wanna, like, seriously for camping tonight, we just wanna see if the lights will work. So, I hooked up my fuse box and I'll go over this whole setup in a lot more detail later. But for now, I'm just going to hook these up, turn it on, and see if they work. Nicole has already called the fire department. They're already on their way. I'd say there's like a 5% chance this works.
You know, I would say it's 1%. I think 5's a little high.
Wow, you're very confident in me. First ever test. Please do not explode.
Please, Lord, protect us and make sure that this doesn't explode. Amen. You did it!
No way. I'm shocked right now.
I was a little shocked too, but I was like,
that's sick.
wow.
Okay.
You did it.
So, I have no freaking clue how, but they work. Excuse me, sir. Have you been drinking tonight? You're swerving all over the road.